Imperial arrogance is the stock and trade of the British Tory establishment, and Johnson's announcement of his intention to breach international law is very much in line with that rotten and arrogant tradition, but it is also a direct snub and insult to you, Taoiseach, and to the people of this country. It is a reckless, dangerous assertion by Boris Johnson, which really endangers peace and stability in this country, and once again summons up the prospect of hard borders and all of the conflict that can ensue for that. And you need to be very clear and very tough with Mr. Johnson that you're not accepting it. That his recklessness is not going to lead to hard borders. And indeed, I personally believe it is once again further evidence of the need to start talking very openly about the need to end partition, for a border poll and for the unsustainability of partition. And I think there's never been a better time to make that case when you have such a rotten Prime Minister as Boris Johnson, who embodies the worst of British imperial arrogance.
Taoiseach, please.
First of all, I've been very clear in relation to this. This is a unilateral action. It fundamentally undermines trust, and trust is the foundation stone upon which agreements are made and which negotiations are conducted. Couldn't be any clearer than that. And the British government today, via legislation, I think Deputy Kelly is right, via legislation, to unilaterally seek to undermine or alter an international agreement, is, in terms of the conduct of international relations in the middle of negotiations, is unprecedented, actually. And the type of comment made by Secretary of State in the House yesterday, to the effect that he was openly declaring that he was going to break the law, or bring in legislation to breach the law, was something to behold in itself. But of course, we are in the middle of very serious negotiations, and people can speculate as to the timing and motivation for this action. And I don't agree with Deputy MacDonald's assertions. We were not prepared to jump in. If the United Kingdom have issues with the protocol, then the proper forum to discuss that is in the Joint Committee and in the negotiations process itself. We don't have a problem with the protocol. Ireland doesn't have a problem with the withdrawal treaty or the protocol. So we will exercise, and I will exercise, judgment in terms of both how I intervene, when I intervene, and the manner of my intervention. And sometimes it's not all about lifting the phone, because what's at stake here is adherence to an international treaty which Ireland has agreed to, Ireland is satisfied with, and Ireland is getting on with. If the British government have an issue, they have a problem with it. If they have, there's only one place to resolve that. It's within the agreement, i.e. within the Joint Committee and the Specialised Committee. It's not for Ireland to get embroiled in whatever issues they have, or indeed to become a party to whatever machinations are ongoing in terms of these negotiations or where it's going to end up. I'll say no more than that. But you have to, it's a very straightforward answer. And I have experience of negotiations, Deputy, quite significant. It makes a lot of sense. No, they are. And that's their decision. And they've done it unilaterally. We, on the other hand, we on the other hand will work with the European Union. And I've been in touch and spoke last night to the President of the European Commission, who is viewing this very seriously. And the stakes are high. And what is this about? It's about the manner in which the United Kingdom is going to leave the European Union, which has very profound impact for ordinary people on our streets, both here, UK and in Europe. And that's how you can't get higher than that, because Brexit is bad, and a no-deal Brexit is going to be much, much worse. And today we launched a Brexit readiness plan, taking on board the prospect of a no-deal Brexit, very seriously taking that on board, and also what would be optimal now would be a limited free trade agreement as the other alternative to it. Those are the two options. You know, the action by the British government is unacceptable. It does undermine trust, and it also raises the entire issue of how does one continue to conduct negotiations with that type of action. And so I will again be in touch with the President von der Leyen today. We've been in touch on an ongoing basis, very regular basis, with the negotiating team, the task force, and they're equally of a view in terms of both the unprecedented nature of this, but also the manner in which this has happened, and are clearly not satisfied either, because up to now progress has been very limited. And there have been three overall areas: level playing pitch, governance of any subsequent agreement, fisheries, but progress has been limited on all those three fronts, not to mention aviation, transport and so on. So at a late juncture, just put this point to the deputies, at a very late juncture in the negotiations, this unilateral action is engaged in by the UK government, which causes real issues in terms of the European negotiating team, and we are a part of that and will work with the European Union in our response to the United Kingdom.
Thank you very much.